And once again, it didn't freeze, not even for Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody. It's finally turned up, hasn't it? I say finally turned up. I always go on about how fast Friday comes around, but dear me, yes, it doesn't seem no time at all since I was sat here last Christmas Day. Wishing you all a happy Christmas. Happy Christmas, everyone. And, I hope that Santa brought you everything that your heart desired. And if he didn't, well, just keep the receipt and go take it back and return it. This is my Christmas gift from the missus. Look at this, a big old tankard. Yes, it's fantastic. It's got like this rope handle here. And let's see if I can kind of just grab the camera. It's got like a stainless steel inner, which is supposed to keep your beer nice and cold for longer than you would normally expect. So this is my main present, along with several bottles of Highland medicine, single malt variety, and a T-shirt which I'm unable to wear in polite company. Shall we just say that? I'll describe it to you. It says, I'm no gynecologist, but I know when I see one. See you next Tuesday. Yes. So there you go. Hope you're having a fantastic day. I certainly am. Yesterday was a bit weird because yesterday was my first day off since probably my birthday back in February. And, I just didn't know what to do with myself. So I ended up doing that reworked intro music there with the sleigh bells and the tinsel and everything, just for something to do. But I'm finally settling into like kind of time off mode now. And that said, I've got a lot to do today. Not to say nothing of the roast dinner I've got to prepare later, which after a few of these will be kind of something of a performance, shall we say. Right, let's see who's in and who was first in, who was Christmas teacher's pet. We've got Peter Collins first in, then Calby in the Rocco Cat, Terry Day, Searching for Tone, Anton, Peter S, Rent to Kill, Peter Nicholson, there's Cylon Hybrid, John Mack, Ian Clark and David James. We've got Malcolm Thompson, Dave Fiendish and Johnny Random. Mickey Walnuts is in, and who else have we got? We got Craig Stamen and session guitar legend Gary Shaw. There's Pablo Hank, Michael Cole, Grumpy Horse, the Essex Cat, Dr. Gomez 1. Calby and the Rocco Cat is saying, any Christmas guitars? Not in this house, mate, but I'm sure it will be happening somewhere. Mark Kerno is in, so is Malcolm Spillett and Johnny D. There's Austin Barrett, 60s man, and Peter Hall is in. Anton's in his wife's good books for staying out of the kitchen. Yes, well, I'm the one that's doing all the kitchen stuff today, which I don't mind because I actually enjoy doing it. I was up at about 6 o'clock this morning peeling carrots and such like. We've got Chris Otterwell. We've got anyone else? Grandpa Joe, all the way from New York City. Let's put you up on screen, mate. Wishing everyone a happy, merry and blessed Christmas. I do hope Santa dropped by and left some wonderful guitar gear. Have a happy and safe New Year. Same to you, Joe. Same to you, mate. Who else have we got? We've got Brad Dowell. We've got Boulder64 and Colin Falcon saying bar humbug, everyone. Yes, indeed. I used to be a bit like that. I used to be a bit, kind of, cynical about it all. But then, since I started kind of getting busy with work-related matters, I work 300. Let me work this out. I work 355 days a year. I take a day off on my birthday, and I take 9 days off over Christmas. So this is me just kind of in chill out mode. I may be a little bit more chilled out than the usual Friday live streams because I'm downwind of several already, shall we say. Cheers, everyone. Anton is saying, is it too early to pester for a 2025 Red Carmageddon meetup? the more people that pester, the more likely it is to happen, mate. That's all I'll say. Johnny D's gassing for a PRS Silver Sky, but can't really justify it. Bought 3 guitars this year already. Yeah, the thing with the Silver Sky is you've really got to want to have that particular brand. You've really got to want to have the PRS. As I said when I reviewed that lowly classic vibe Strat back there, if Strats are your thing, it's hard to think of what else you could want out of such a guitar. We've got John Little, and we've got Rudiger Ehrlich. I hope I pronounced that right, mate. And we've got Raymondo El Rex, off to hospital to visit my neighbour. I know, I'm a saint. Good for you, mate. Good for you. Pass on our best regards to your neighbour, and sneak him in. Just something a little bit boozy in amongst the grapes and the Christmas cheer. We got Glenn Bailey. I like black guitars. There he is, and Robbie F. And who else we got? We've got Sargi. We've got Gary Arnold. We've got Chris Otterwell. Your end of the flake. Yes, you can't see if I pour a flaky one in this, can you? I can tell you it's a perfect one every time, unless it comes out over the top, which would be a bit of a giveaway. Who else have we got? We've got Knock Knock and Wilson Jones, and there's Gary Arnold and Anton. Thank you, sir. You are a gentleman. Happy Christmas, John and Mrs. R. Thanks for all the great content from all the Fattercasters. Yep, I will second that. It's without you lads, it will be just me sat here talking to myself. Keith Williams of 5 Watt World. He's got the best line ever. I wish I'd thought of it. He says, "You guys are the channel. I just make the videos," and I'll second that. Where are we? Let's. What are you saying there? Looks like one of Paul's racing pigeons has got loose in your room, John. Look at the light reflection on the on-air behind you. Yeah, I see what you mean, mate. Yes, that's very true. I'll hide it with me bald head so you can get the reflections off that as well. We got Philippe Schaffer. I hope I pronounced that right. And Derek Clacton, Martin Schultz, Macaroon, and Jeff Benner. Who else have we got? Let's try and get through this roll call reasonably quickly. Richard Blake. And The Lamb is in. If you don't know The Lamb, go and check out his live stream on a Monday. Are you doing one this week, mate? Because are you going radio silent for Christmas like me? Or, excuse me, are you still partaking? Who else have we got? We've got Change Strangers. A new name round these parts. Do we already know you by another name, mate? Then Paul Graham, Liverpool, saying, "Hi, John, I got a Faisley Outlaw Coyote Plus off the big bearded fella on your recommendation. Let's hope it's a good one." It will be, mate. They're a great little guitar, those. Roasted maple, ash body, hand stained for, was it 100 odd quid? Where can you go wrong with that? Michael Cole's got a Lego Fender to build. What did the lovely Dougal get this Christmas, says Rent to Kill. Dougal got a big stuffed octopus toy that's as big as him. And the octopus toy came with a face, 2 eyes and a mouth. Yeah, the octopus toy doesn't have 2 eyes and a mouth anymore. It's a cyclops with no mouth because Dougal was, as we say, deading it last night. But he loves flinging it around, watching the tentacles go everywhere. And he got some healthy, organic, low-fat doggy sausages as well, which is very much in his wheelhouse. The Lamb is saying, big live Christmas special at 4 p.m. Done an Xmas Day show for about 4 years now. It's traditional. I'll try and join in for that, mate, if we're not otherwise engaged, because we've got sort of guests staying at the moment. So I do have my responsibility as a host. Hence why behind me you can see, I don't know if you can see, but the green kind of sofa bed behind me is currently folded down into bed form. We've got David Buck, all the way from Tennessee. I've said this before, but, for me, just a little country mouse living out here in the sticks in the northeast of England, the fact that I sit here every Friday and every Christmas Day, and I've got people joining in from places like New York City and Phoenix, Arizona, and Tennessee, these are just such kind of mythological, romantic places. I mean, they're all places that get mentioned in the lyrics of Chuck Berry songs. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, for me, they're so romanticized and idealized that the fact that I'm sat here just blethering away full of beer to people from those places, it really does, give me a little bit of a smile on my face. And I think we've got Paul Trainer, BSc, no less. And we've got people joining all the time. We're slightly down on the Friday numbers, but I understand people are, kind of busy with family and stuff. So thank you for sneaking away from your nearest and dearest to watch a fat, bald northern bloke talk absolute cobblers on the internet. It fills my heart with joy. And I think that's everybody. So, if I've missed your name out there, I do apologise. It's because I've had beer and I wanted to get the roll call over with relatively quickly. I do get a lot of people often kind of moaning about how long I take to read out everybody in the chat. For those who are interested, today's tipple of choice is Galahad. Oh, have I got another super chat there? I believe I have. Paul Trainer, BSc, thank you so much, mate. That is very, very kind of you. Nice little Christmas tip there. Yes, today's, much appreciated, mate. Today's tipple is Galahad. Now, what's this? This is Aldi's own brand 4% lager. When you're going to be on the beer all day, you've got to be very careful about your choice of beer because you want something that tastes reasonably good, but you don't want something that's going to be absolutely, putting you on your back before you've had a chance to do the roast potatoes. So it's really good. If you've got an Aldi near you and you just want a good session beer and you like drinking lager, check out Galahad. It's cheap as chips. I think it's about £2 odd for 4 cans. And, it's very, very quaffable. It tastes really nice. And, you're not going to be, staggering about in a coma by lunchtime, which I suppose it already is, but we haven't had lunch yet. We tend to do our Christmas lunch as an evening meal. Anyway, the other good thing about this is for some reason it tends to make the beer a little bit less gassy. Malcolm Spillett, you are a gentleman, sir. Thank you so much for that. Much appreciated. All of these Christmas tips coming in. What we got there? Robbie F is saying, sadly, our US Aldis have yet to stock any Pilsner. Oh, dear me, I'm sorry to hear that. Yes, there's an Aldi. It's about half an hour's walk away from me. So what I did was a couple of weeks ago, I had a walk up there and just basically filled a trolley with this stuff, and then got a cab home because I don't drive. So if I'm coming back with any amount of kind of bulky stuff or heavy stuff, I have to get a cab home, which sort of wipes out the saving that you get by shopping at Aldi. But I specifically wanted this beer for Christmas. Wilson Jones is saying, re the meetup, let's rent a function room, have a jam and stream it. Stranger things have happened, mate. Stranger things have happened. Have I got another super chat then? No, it's just it pops up every now and again as another notification when it's one I've already seen. So yeah, I mean, if you want to do the 2025 Red Carmageddon thing, we can make it happen. What I found last year for the 2024 one was that those who were enthusiastic were very enthusiastic, but you were small in number. And I know from past experience that if you want 20 people to turn up, you've got to get like 35 people saying that they're going to come. If you want a dozen people to turn up, you've got to get like 20 people saying they're going to come. So you know what to do. Just email me, jrguitartuition@gmail.com. If you put it in the chat, I promise you I will probably miss it because I'm kind of, as I say, I'm downwind of a few at the moment and I'll probably miss it. And that's, I'm not Rick Beato. I don't have like a whole army of interns and Santa's little helpers keeping an eye on the chat. Plus, age is a cruel mistress. And, half the time I put stuff up on the screen because it just makes the font bigger and I can read it a bit easier. If you put it in the chat, I might miss it, but email me, jrguitartuition@gmail.com. If in the coming 12 months you are prepared to schlep all the way up to the back end of nowhere, out into the sticks in Redcar to come and kind of drink beer and talk cobblers with me and then go for a curry. If you're up for it, we'll make it happen. Anyway, excuse me, chaps. I just need to replenish the fuel tank. So, what has Santa brought you this Christmas? I think I saw Cal B in the chat there saying any Christmas guitars earlier. I've got to tell you what, that is a perfect pour. It's just a shame you can't see it. That is not flaky at all. That is just the perfect amount of head. Prove it isn't. Any Christmas guitars? Let's have a look down at the latest comments. Paul Graham is saying, do you have any footage of your band gigging days? I think we'd all love to see that. Top player. I don't actually, because I retired from gigging before the advent of these things where you can kind of take a video at will. There is some VHS footage somewhere, or there was, of me playing in one of my function bands from the 90s at some point, but that was someone with a camcorder, as they were called in those days, and it was one of those ones that you had to sit on your shoulder. So that's how long ago it was. But I no is the short answer. And one of the things I do for the Tier 2 Patreon guys, thank you, by the way, for all of you who support me on Patreon, and especially the Tier 2 chaps, is I do a blog post every Friday where basically I was admitting, as much to myself as anyone else, that my gigging days are behind me now. I played my first gig when I was 14, and I played my last gig. When was it? It was in about 2013, 14. So like 10 years ago. So I played my first gig when I was 14, and I played my last gig when I was in my late 40s. So that's a canny old stretch, isn't it? That's a decent, kind of shift that I put in. And it's just like, now I'm old and a little bit lazy, and the thought of sitting in a rusty transit van, with the other lads in the band, sniffing each other's farts, and then getting to the venue and having to hump gear up a rickety iron fire escape in some rain-lashed miners' welfare club. I just don't want to do it anymore. So for a while now, I've said never say never, but now I am. So there you go. Anyway, what am I missing in the chat while I'm blethering on here? Craig Stamen saying, my family is coming round to mine today, so I'm trying to watch while doing the dinner, but I have beer, so all good. Yes, beer is what makes it. It just oils the wheels of Christmas, doesn't it? Brad Dowell, Santa got me a lovely Squire bass in California Blue, so that's one of the Christmas guitars. And Malcolm Thompson, Sonic 8 Matribox Pro for Christmas. There you go. Nice one, mate. Curious about that, actually. What else have we got? Any Ian Clark saying take a cash deposit for Red Carmageddon. Well, the thing is for Red Carmageddon, it's like me giving a little bit back, really, because I always either put a chunk of money behind the bar or I pay for the meal at the curry house, because it has to be a curry house, doesn't it? Bengal Spice on Station Road in Redcar, if you're interested. Martin Murray has got a British Racing Green Telecaster. That's a colour I've never owned a guitar in, is British Racing Green. I do remember seeing years ago in Guitarist magazine where they used to have a centerfold, believe it or not, in the guitar magazine, and it was the Fender Jaguar, or if you're of an American persuasion, Jaguar guitar, which had the little kind of leaping cat as the fretboard inlays, and it was in British Racing Green, as I remember, and the scratch plate was in sort of burr walnut. It was just absolutely perfect, and I think it was owned by Paul Rogers or someone like that. So certainly some big rock star, and I remember kind of coveting that guitar massively. Jack Collins is saying, I got some pickups for Christmas. Wilkinson M Series Vintage Classics. Nice one, mate. Just a word to the wise from personal experience. Pickups mean soldering. Christmas means alcohol. The two don't mix particularly well. I can tell you that. Yes, I had a big iron burn across my hand a few years ago from thinking, yeah, well, I'm going to go and fit those pickups now. It didn't really work particularly well. We got Sir Baldwin Snarky saying, Merry Christmas, guys. Well, same to you, mate. What have I missed? Cal B saying, whiskey in my coffee doing wonders for my mood. Yes, that is... Yeah, that's a tradition in this house. Only it's rum on a Christmas morning. Because I went to a naval college. I trained to be a merchant navy radio officer, which I've spoken about many times. But the Christmas tradition there was a mug of tea or coffee laced with rum. It's called gunfire, and we have that every Christmas in this house. And yes, I was... by the time I was peeling carrots at about 6:30 this morning, I was already kind of quite happily in the zone, if you know what I mean. Let's have a look, see what we've got. Jack Collins saying, Will John, I haven't had a drink in 65 days. Well, if that's through choice, mate, I admire your self-restraint and your sense of self-restraint, really. Oh, there we go. That is something I can get behind. Artist Bubba is saying, one day maybe all pickups will be plug and play. Yep. It's just come up with a standardized connector across the whole industry. Shouldn't be too difficult. We have standardized pickup sizes. A Gibson humbucker will fit in a Fender humbucker slot, and vice versa. Just come up with a standardized connector, and let's just take the soldering out of it, because it is just, even though I trained in, as I say, electronics, the wiring and soldering is the one thing I just absolutely loathe doing. Boulder 64. I didn't drink alcohol for 16 years. 16th birthday, I was plastered. Good for you, mate. I started a little bit earlier than that, it has to be said. Where are we? Robbie Evers saying, No soldering. Where's the fun in that? Well, it whatever floats your boat, mate. But it's the one job I hate doing, because you just know you're going to get it all soldered up, and then you're going to try it. And like Johnny Budget Guitar in that guitar build video he did, where he connects it all up and it's dead. That's happened to me many a time. Peter Hall is saying gunfire brings back a few memories, usually drinking it somewhere either freezing cold or boiling hot. Yes, indeed. Craig saying, Mr. James at Agrajag changes all my pickups. I hate it. Yeah, I would willingly pay someone to do all of that for me now, and now I know where James is at Agrajag. I probably will do from now on. Ian Clark is saying, how will guitar techs make their money without soldering? Well, there's still fret leveling, truss rod, and action and intonation and all that stuff to take care of, isn't there? Macaroon is saying those connectors kill the tone. You need solder with lead to get the tone solder. I'm not sure if you're being facetious there, mate, but tone solder sort of gives it away. I think you might be. Let's have a look. Whatever. Paul Trainer is saying Squires are great modding guitars. Indeed, they are. That said, the only modification I've done to that, where are we? That way, that classic vibe that's on the wall back there is I've changed the string tree and put slightly looser tremolo springs in. But that's only because I wanted the tremolo to work. If I was going to hardtail it, then it would have been absolutely fine straight out the box. Phil Osborne, who's a lucky boy. Christmas guitar, PRS SE Custom 24.8 in blood orange. Awesome. Yeah, they are a nice guitar. I do like the pickups in those. The only problem I had when I borrowed a Custom 24.08 was, apart from the racing pigeons, which, I'm starting to learn to live with those now. But it was the fact the placement of the two little mini switches, they are right in line with the tremolo arm, so the trem always gets in the way when you want to kind of change them quickly. Excuse me, chaps. I just need to turn this fan on in here. That's what you can... I don't know if you can hear that. But it's ridiculously warm here in Redcar. It is just silly. Forget any sort of Christmas scene of, kind of frost and ice and snow. I'm looking at the little temperature gauge I've got on my office clock here, and it's 24 degrees in this room. I just took Dougal out for a walk just before the live stream, and I had my big coat on. I was getting a sweat on, so I just need a little bit of a breeze from the fan. So excuse me if it's causing any interference with the audio. Ian Clark is saying, thinking of buying my own Xmas Prezi. Any suggestions for an amp cabinet for home use? I've heard nothing but good things about the Harley Benton 2x12 with vintage 30s in it. That is, just everybody raves about that. Yes, they are the Chinese-made Celestian vintage 30s, and some people look down their nose a little bit at those, but find a bad review of one. You just can't. Ravensmead is saying, Merry Christmas to Dougal from Sonny and all of his fans. Woof. I've got a video actually on my phone. I can't... it's too much of a faff around for a bloke who's had too many beers already to get it onto the computer and then upload it so I can show it to you. But it's Dougal with his octopus, which is called Ollie, by the way. From absolutely ragging the back end out of it last night, just kind of doing that thing that, throwing it around, tentacles flying everywhere, knocking ornaments off the shelves and everything. Colin Falcon is saying, allegedly the UK is due to be hit by a 300-mile wide snowstorm on New Year's Day, 10 centimetres or 4 inches per hour. I'll believe that when I see it, mate. It's, and even if it does, kind of snow in winter, it's these days they try and call that, some kind of cataclysmic, climactic crisis event, don't they? We just used to call it winter. Graham Campbell is saying, have you ever done the nut slot baking soda super glue fix? I need to do it, but after any tips in case I cock it up. Just make sure you have a decent set of nut files, mate. If you saw that video where I was doing, where I was talking to James from AgriJag, buy good nut files. You need one set and they'll last you the rest of your life. Don't buy cheap ones off eBay. They will make an absolute pig's breakfast of it. I can speak from personal experience. And then, if you assuming you got decent nut files, make your paste with super glue and baking soda, and put too much in, then you can kind of take it away. Once it's you can kind of file it to the necessary depth. At the end of the day, even if you make a right Horlicks of it, then you can always just take it to your friendly local guitar tech and fix it. Which is James at AgriJag. I don't know if you saw that video. He was saying the majority of work he does is from people who've had a go and admitted defeat. But the point is, let's say you need the nut fixing on your guitar. You can take it to a guitar tech and let them do it. Or you can have a go yourself. And if you make a mess of it, then you take it to a guitar tech. The worst case scenario is that you've got to go with plan A rather than, plan B. So let the glue dry, says Austin Barrett. Yes, obviously. What else am I missing in the chat? Cal B in the Rock or Cat is saying, about 10 years ago, the Weather Network started using the term weather bomb. Funny, you used to just call it snow flurries. Yeah, they like to kind of catastrophize, don't they? Johnny D, what are you saying there, mate? Johnny D, when playing slide, I notice you have a piece of card or something to lift the action. How thick is it? All I do is I get one of my business cards. There they are. And I fold it in half. And I fold it in half again, like that. And that is what I stick under the strings at the first fret, just to bump the action up a bit. So the answer to your question is, mate, that thick. And because you're playing slide, you don't have to worry about it, in terms of the tuning, because it will sort of put your tuning out a little bit, but you're playing slide, so you can adjust for that as you're playing. What else have we got? Wizcat is saying, I need a mince pie 314 and a mince pie 11th. Yeah, it's going over my head, mate, that one a little bit, but that might be down to the amount of beer that I've had rather than your wit. What else have we got? I may need to just vacate the live stream, just for a minute or two, because what goes in has to come out. But we'll just wait till we break the seal, shall we? Mark Kerno is saying, meanwhile, in Cornwall, we still be in shorts. Yes, well, that's kind of you're almost in France there, though, aren't you, mate? Cornwall. It's down that end of the country. Rent to Kill is saying, in Nottingham you can get a battered mince pie. Not for me. Yeah, I've never. That is a British thing, isn't it? Presumably, it's more of a Scottish thing. The old kind of deep fried battered Mars bar. My favourite one from north of the border, though, is those jumbo sausages about that long you can get from a fish and chip shop. One of those wrapped in doner kebab meat, battered and deep fried. Oh God, that's going to be good though, don't you? It's incredibly bad for you, but I could eat one now. So yes, yes, a deep fried battered sausage with kebab meat. Oh dear me. Cheap Seats saying peak hole in that mug. No, it's just a little sort of metallic inlay. You can apparently kind of specify anything you want, but it's just like a little kind of Viking cross or something like that, which I think is rather fitting. Fantastic stuff. What else have we got? I'm getting that joke now about the pie. Yes, let's get back up to that. Where was it? Can't find it, but yes. I can't find it now. Glenn Bailey's saying, I can say I have the Harley Benton with a vintage 30s great cab at a great price. Yep. Martin Murray's in Texas, may wear shorts later. Rent to Kill is saying, it's a lovely day today. Sadly, in my day, kids were out there on the bikes, etc. Sadly, today, streets are empty. All technology nowadays. I got to disagree with you there, mate. As I say, I took Dougal out on the for like a little walk around the field we've got out the back of us, and the streets were full of kids on roller skates and skateboards and new bikes and stuff. It actually made me feel rather nostalgic. Maybe it's just a regional thing, I don't know, but there seem to be a lot of kids up this end of this neck of the woods who got bikes and outdoor stuff for Christmas. A couple of kids out on the field as well, kicking a ball around, which you can't imagine that on Christmas Day they'd be thinking, well, that football has been in the cupboard for ages. Let's take that out on Christmas Day. So, I'm thinking that the kids must have got a new football or something. Today, one of the funniest things I saw, actually, and this wasn't this year, this was a few years back. One of the streets that I got to walk down, and when I take the dog for a walk, there was a bloke, and this is like 2 or 3 days before Christmas, and he's got a big Dyson vacuum cleaner box, right? And it's got a big kind of pink bow and ribbon on it. It clearly says Dyson vacuum cleaner on it. And I'm thinking, yeah, there'd better be a pair of diamond earrings in there somewhere, mate. Because if you are buying your better half a Dyson vacuum cleaner for Christmas, you're going to end up kind of having the hose inserted where the monkey shoves its nuts. But it would be a brilliant kind of prank, wouldn't it? Kind of the big Dyson vacuum cleaner box with another box inside of that, another one inside of that, and she's got to kind of rip them all out, and finally she gets to a box about that big that's got some like a Cartier watch in it or something. that talk about redeeming yourself. Phil Osborne is saying it's scooters in Aycliffe this Christmas. Is this a north-south thing? Is this like all the northern kids get the traditional toys? I remember one Christmas where I should have been disappointed, but I wasn't. It was the year every other kid was getting a skateboard for Christmas. And I got roller skates because my parents didn't approve of skateboards. They thought it was a little bit too subversive. I don't know why, but they did. So I got roller skates. Not the kind of rollerblade kind of things, like the old metal ones that you used to kind of have to do up the buckle with to strap them onto your shoes. And I didn't care, because what I did was I took the wheels off the roller skates and made 2 skateboards. So, I just knew that was what I was going to do, because I knew I was getting roller skates. Gary Shaw saying electric bikes in my town. John, when you have guests, do they pester you to play the guitar for them? Quite the opposite, mate. It's it's you're not getting that bloody thing out again, are you? So it's no is the short answer. Rent-a-kill saying, a friend of mine last year, his wife got him some top of the range trainers and he got her a cooker. Oh dear me! Oh dear! Yes, yes. Did he end up? It's in accident and emergency. Yeah, that's one of those things that would not go down well in this house. Money Molly Mal is saying, hello, John, do you think they play guitars in heaven? I have a joke about that, actually. Shall I tell you me guitars in heaven joke? I will, because I've had a few beers. Right, okay, drummer dies and goes to heaven. And he says, before I go any further, I will just say that I told this to one of my students who is a Church of England vicar, and he ended up getting a sermon out of it. So, it's not, hopefully not offensive to anyone. But a drummer dies and goes to heaven. And he's met at the gates by St. Peter, and St. Peter says, well, you've lived a good and virtuous life. Yes, I don't see any problem letting you in. Come on in, sir. He says, well, hang on a minute. Before I come in, you're going to tell me there aren't any lead guitarists up here, are there? And Peter says, no, we don't let that rabble up here. God forbid. That's not going to happen. He says, okay, fair enough. So the drummer's in heaven, he's walking around, and he's just floating in on the celestial breeze. He hears the opening notes of Stairway to Heaven. It says a lead guitarist up here. Can't be right. So anyway, a couple of days later, he hears the intro to Sweet Child of Mine, and then Smoke on the Water, and then House of the Rising Sun, and then, all of these kind of cliched lead guitar things. And he thinks, there's a lead guitarist up here, I'm not having this. So he goes and hunts down St. Peter, and he says, I thought you told me there were no lead guitarists up here. And St. Peter says, well, there aren't. What do you mean? He says, well, since I've been here, I've heard Stairway to Heaven, House of the Rising Sun, Sweet Child of Mine, and Smoke on the Water, amongst other things. He says, no, I see what you mean. He says, no, that's not a lead guitarist. That's God. He just thinks he's a lead guitarist. Dududumsh. Thank you very much. I'm here all week. Johnny D is saying, quiet across the breakfast table this morning when Mrs. Johnny D opened a present to reveal an iron. I can't think why. Johnny D is saying, how do you know when there's a drummer at the door? The knocking speeds up. How do you know when there's a singer at the door? They've got the wrong key and they don't know when to come in. Yes. Let's have a look. See what else we've got. Ravensmead saying, my Uncle George bought me a satellite Les Paul in 1974. Changed my life. I have one of those on the very wall back there. That black Les Paul looking thing back there is I'm back in focus, is a satellite Les Paul, and it was very, very kindly bought for me by the father of one of my ex-students who's a regular viewer of this channel. Because I mentioned it on the channel, and massively grateful. It's a horrible guitar, it has to be said, but I love it in every way because it's got so much nostalgia value for my early days as a guitar player. I did my first gig on a satellite Les Paul. Rent-a-Kill is saying, is she getting the ironing board next year? Yes. Yeah, well, keep us posted on the divorce proceedings, won't you, mate? Balder64 is saying, is it festive curry again? No, I've gone traditional this year. It is as close to a regular Christmas dinner as you can get, except it's not turkey, it's chicken, because I just don't like turkey. I think turkey, it just tastes like kind of dry chicken, so I'd rather have something that tastes of chicken that is actually decent. Wilson Jones, hi John, why not make a video about sending your satellite to Agrajag to see if it can be fettled? Yeah, the thing is, that guitar is so nostalgic for me. I'm due to make another video on it, actually. I might do that in the new year. But it's so, yeah, I don't want to dilute the memory of it by, trying to kind of, make a sow's ear into a silk purse, as they say. Balder64, it's called a bass solo because... where's it gone? It's called a bass solo because everyone else has gone to the bar. Yes, indeed. A mate of mine loaned me a Van Halen DVD years ago. And I sat and watched it all the way through. Van Halen live. I wasn't massively a Van Halen fan, but he loaned it to me and said, check these out. And it was during the Sammy Hagar years. And it got to like a Michael Anthony bass solo. And I said, that bass solo went on a bit. He says, and this is a DVD you'd owned for years. He says, I always just skip past that bit. What else have we got? John, in the 70s, did you have a favourite Christmas toy? I remember being absolutely thrilled beyond belief when I got a scale Extric. And another year that springs to mind is when I got. Do you remember the $6 Million Man? Like the TV show. Well, they brought out like an Action Man kind of action figure for that. I remember being like massively, thrilled with that, and like his little backpack that he had. It had a radio in it, a little crystal set radio, which was great, and I loved that. Those I remember kind of being two highlights from Christmas. I remember the year I got an Etch-a-Sketch. That was fun. That kept me quiet all Christmas Day. Oh, Anton, yes. The Evel Knievel that you had to wind up and send it smashing into the shins of your parents. Yep, I remember that one, mate. Cylon Hybrid. That's. I clicked on you by mistake there. Dear me. Where are we? Guy goes to Africa, gets off the plane. Everywhere he goes, he hears drumming. He asks the cab driver, when do the drums stop? Driver replied, drums must never stop. If drums stop, bass solo. Yes. A lot of talk here about kind of childhood Christmas presents from years ago. Phil Osborne always got painting by numbers. Ian Clark, Scorpion tank for me too. A Hornby train set, yes indeed. Yes, that was the fun. That's the thing with a train set. It's great when you're a kid, but I do get a little bit suspicious of grown men who they've got the attic kitted out as a kind of little kind of train set kind of thing. Yeah, I think that's there's something a bit. Apologies if this is your thing, but I just can't imagine why a grown man would want a train set. I remember having a Turtles blimp, and my dad spent most of the day blowing it up, popped his eardrums. What, the Turtles blimp? What's one of those? Is that like a space hopper or something? Oh, Graham Campbell, yes. One of my best presents was $6 Million Man action figure with a see-through eye. I'd forgotten about that. And a peel-back arm skin. Yes, you can peel back his arm and see the kind of electronics in his arm. Gary Shaw, Michael, Man from Uncle briefcase with weapons inside. I had a similar thing. Do you remember the spy kit, as it was called, where it was like you got like the all the kind of secret spy stuff, including like some, I thought it was real money that you had in there, but apparently it wasn't, because you couldn't spend it at the local sweet shop. But it looked like real money. Ian Clark saying, I bought a Hornby TT set last year. I'll get me coat. No, if it's what floats your boat, mate. If it's what floats your boat, it takes all sorts. Chip Young. Bought the wife a belt and a bag. She wasn't impressed, but the vacuum cleaner works great now. Oh, yes, dear me, that one's... yes. Lots of jokes of that nature that I've seen on and not clicked on. Rentakill said, no, the Turtles blimp from the cartoon Ninja Turtles. Okay, right. You see, I was a little bit long in the tooth when the Ninja Turtles came along. I think there may be a generational thing going on there, mate. We got Rexamatic in all the way from Phoenix, Arizona. Merry Christmas. We bring out the ukuleles today for Christmas songs today. My yesterday toy was the James Bond Aston Martin. Oh, yes. Was that the one, or was it the Batmobile that used to be able to fire matchsticks out of the rockets on the back? I can't quite remember, but it was one of those two. Gary Shaw, an air pistol for my 5th Christmas. Yeah, that's what things were like in the UK in back in the day. Give a weapon capable of maiming or killing someone to a 5-year-old. It seems silly now, but I remember those days. Where a lot of people, Robbie F there as well. Got my first Marklin train set at age 10. 50 years later, that train set still runs, and I collect Marklin. Brings me as much joy now as when I was 10. I haven't read The Room here, have I? There's a lot of middle-aged chaps who like train sets. Well, good for you, lads. That's an education for me. I always thought it was maybe the mark of the kind of people who spend ages with a thermos flask sitting at a railway depot taking down train numbers. I thought, but I didn't realise that there was such a following for that these days. I may have to reevaluate my thoughts on such matters. Doesn't mean I'm going to buy a train set, though. Peter Collins says, remember Spud guns? I do indeed. Yes, they were fantastic, weren't they? Where are we? Cal B's talking about clackers and lawn darts. I remember clackers. I mean, you try giving a kid a pair. No, son, don't play with your Xbox. Here's two... what were they made of? They weren't polystyrene, were they? They were acrylic kind of balls on 2 bits of string, and the point of the game is you've got to kind of shake them until the balls clack against each other, and that was that. Kids would play with that for hours. Glenn Bailey saying, anyone remember surviving lawn darts? I've never played lawn darts. It's a phrase I've heard, but I never experienced lawn darts, it has to be said. Ravensmead, first thing we did with the chemistry set was stink bombs. Yes. Yeah, that was it. As soon as you realise that little phial of yellow sulphur could make a disgusting smell, that, as a 9-year-old, that was irresistible, wasn't it? Where are we? Oh, Chris Otterwells, thank you, sir. You are a gentleman, sir. Happy Christmas, John. Have a couple of beers on me. Long live the live stream. Well, it'll live as long as I do. Which, we can live in hope, can't we? But come to think of it, in the new year, I've got another review about me blood pressure. That should be fun. But where are we? We used to chuck the lawn dart as high in the air as possible and straight up and run away. Yeah, I'm gathering there must be some sharpened projectile that you used to have to kind of throw into a dartboard. I remember having like an actual dartboard with real darts when I was really young. But nothing to do with the lawn, it has to be said. Cylon Hybrid is saying, John Dougal gets the Christmas dinner meat today. He had it last year. Half a tray of pigs in blankets before they went into the oven. He decided that we didn't need all those pigs in blankets, so he had them. So yes, they're under wraps today before they go in the oven. Anyway, chaps, 57 minutes, coming up to 58 minutes in, and I'm holding the valve closed as long as I can, but I do have to go and pump the bilges, as they say. And it's not worth kind of pausing the stream to come back later. So I'm going to wrap it up there for today. Thank you so much, everyone, for turning up and watching, a fat, bald northern bloke who was 3 sheets to the wind before I started the live stream, turn up and, you watch me talk cobblers for an hour. I will keep on doing it till you're sick of me, but now I'm going to go and, kind of drink some more and make merry and eat quality street and all the rest of it. I'll see you all on the next one. Next live stream, can't remember the date. I think it'll probably be the 3rd of January for the next Friday live stream. So I'll see you on that one. But for now, I'm going radio silent for the rest of the Christmas holidays. Thank you once again, everyone. Have a fantastic Christmas. And, eat, drink, be merry, all the rest of it. And I'll see you on the next one. Thanks so much. Bye for now.